everyone. This is my watch list for Thursday, May 28th. All right, so before I get started, I just want everyone to be aware there is some major data coming here at 8:30 Eastern. We have PCE, this is an inflationary index, as well as GDP, durable goods orders, and initial jobless claims, all coming out at the same time. This is a preliminary watch list. This could all change, depending what happens with this data. If, there's a massive candle up or a massive candle down, then this entire watch list could change, okay? But I still wanted to go ahead and give everyone the levels before that data comes out and just so you guys understand the game plan for today. So market's gapping down a little bit. SPY's down 0.26%. Looks like a bit of a head and shoulder here, right? Here's the left shoulder from Tuesday. The right shoulder formed overnight, and this was the head on Wednesday, okay? So 749 has been my big level on SPY that I've talked about. That's the bull bear pivot. I'm actually going to adjust this level to yesterday's low and the Tuesday low. So I'm going to adjust this to 748, okay? 748, if we break, that's the neckline of this head and shoulder. And if we break 748, we can sell all the way down into 744, 745, this zone down here, okay? So that's what I'll be watching on SPY today. If we get below 748, we can look for shorts. Again, this may happen during the data, but that's just so you guys know, that's my bias level for SPY. For the Qs, okay, 731, we took a beautiful trade on this yesterday that wound up doing 100%, right? This is the left shoulder here, right shoulder, 731. And here's the head on Wednesday. So this is also a nice head and shoulder pattern. We're already gapping down 0.5% right into yesterday's lows. However, we are gapping down into a massive demand, 722. Okay, 722 is huge. If we hold 722 today, then the market can continue structuring higher. But if we lose 722, this is my capitulation level. If we lose 722, I think the gamma flip is at like 720, and we can see all the way down to like 714, right? Which, remember this big level? This was like the previous all-time high. We could see 714 today pretty easily if we lose 722, okay? Now let's look at some individuals. Apple, one of the strongest names in the market. Just be careful trying to short this. It's been very strong. I don't really see anything, but I would watch this 303 bounce if it eventually gets there sometime this week, okay? AMD gapping down 2%. 470 is the big level. You can look for longs at 470. That's the retest here. However, this is one of the most overextended names in the market, right? As well as MU and SDNK. So just be careful with that repositioning. 470, though, could potentially see a bounce there. That's not a top watch. My main watch for me today is Google. Okay, I've mentioned this level multiple times. 383. Look, it's bounced 1, 2, 3, 4, multiple times off that 383. If we get below 383, I really like this short on Google, especially considering it saw some strength yesterday, right? All these people who were buying may have to sell, right? And that could actually accelerate the selling if we get below 383, okay? Meta, strongest name yesterday. We broke the range. Remember, I talked about this range between 600 and 624. We actually broke that range. They got news saying that they're going to start subscription models with their Instagram, Facebook, right? Premium subscriptions, okay? So it obviously ripped on that. It closed the day 3.74%. I like a bounce on this, 624 bounce. If it holds 624, it's the top of this range. It's also the daily gap fill, okay? 624 bounce, and we could look for higher. I think this can go all the way back to 650, okay? So yeah, that's a nice watch for Meta. And let's see what else. So Netflix, nothing. I'm not watching anything on Netflix, but I will say this. If you are long on Netflix, 86.50 has to hold. If we lose 86.50, it's going to continue selling, okay? PLTR, I don't like this chart at all. It's so choppy. NVIDIA is starting to sell here. It's down 1% pre-market. It's back below my 212 level. However, this name has kind of gotten beaten down, right? Since these highs back here from May 14th, it's already down. Let's see. Down to 2. It's already down 11% from highs, so it may see a bit of a relief bounce. This 212 is big. This was the previous all-time highs, okay? If we hold 212, it's bullish, but if we sell below 212 today, I wouldn't touch longs until we get to 196. 196 is huge, and that's actually a spot that I would look for longs personally, not for a long-term hold, but for a temporary bounce back into the like 200, mid 200s, okay? That 196, I really like this demand, and that would be a nice correction from all-time highs. Let's see, down to 196. That's minus 18%. Yeah, that's a much cleaner level for me to take longs off of than this 212. Seems a bit obvious. I mean, if it reclaims 212, then you guys can go long on Nvidia. But I would, as long as we're below 212, I wouldn't touch longs on this name. Okay. Tesla, it also closed green on the session, but it's gapping down now 1%. I talked about this level yesterday with Brett on the pre-market. 450, right? 450 to 452. If we can break above that, it has a massive gamma squeeze. Can squeeze all the way back into 490, 500. Okay. But it's got to break that. Until it breaks that, I told you guys yesterday, don't long. We're at supply, don't long. If you got the bounce, great. But this was actually a pretty choppy, just looking at the hourly here, you can see it was pretty choppy intraday yesterday. It's got to break this 450, 452 to have real upside, okay? So that's my watch. Like I said, there's big data coming out, so we don't know what's going to happen with the data. We could see a big candle down, we could see a big candle up, and that could change this entire watch list. But I just wanted to give some preliminary levels. Good luck out there today. Trade safe. I'll see you guys on live.